Hey, we're going to talk about 1.21 gigawatts, especially how it relates to Softwave.
Is that what we're talking about today?
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. As always, myself, Dr. Zach Mashinsky, and to my right, viewing left, Dr. Mitchell Evenson. And then Richie, the man is here as always.
Camera
and
1, 2, 3.
We have a special guest here today, newest member of the Midwest Chiro family, Des. And Des, she is our Softwave technician. She does a little bit of everything, and she's been great, awesome to have on the team. So welcome to the podcast, too. I mean, This is like kind of a big deal. Yeah, if you
It's probably going to be the highlight of your 20s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you get like 88 new followers, you're welcome.
Directly from the teat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And some new digs in the studio. New
Upgraded.
table.
This table, does anyone want to guess the year that this table was produced?
How do you know?
Well, I know. It's on the bottom.
There's a timestamp on it, and it's actually really cool.
I'm going to go with not even 19th century.
I'll just say what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because
I'm just trying to throw you off.
Right.
It's like Antique Roadshow.
1951.
Wrong. Des.
1938.
Wrong. You know already.
Yeah, I do know.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
1976. Our country's bicentennial.
Sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history in this table.
So this is an American table.
Abraham Lincoln crafted it.
What do you think it's made out of?
Wood.
That's a very good answer.
Table material.
Yeah, table wood. And this is chair wood.
Anyways, today we're talking about Softwave TRT, which is a modality we added to our office 9 months ago, so December of 2022. So we're going to talk about that and a little bit of some patient cases, the technical side of it, and just kind of overall chat of it. So being Des is our Softwave tech, and she's relatively newer. She's going to add in hopefully some cool cases that you've seen so far, and we'll just kind of touch on it. So yeah, let's get into Softwave a little bit. And where do we even begin?
Jeez.
How did we even find out about
Probably from the
Softwave?
start. Yeah. So the way we found out about Softwave was from a friend of mine, Dr. Adam Lowe. We just talked, and he had this therapy in his office for some time, and he was just telling me, raving about kind of the benefits of it with patients. I'm like, oh, okay, it's going to be one of those like therapies that are just like, okay. But then I was having some like wrist and shoulder issues, and I had messaged him. I'm like, hey, like, tell me more about this. So from there, I found another doctor that has it about an hour from here, and started chatting with him, and went and got my wrist taken care of. And even after one session, I'm like, holy crap, like, what is this? And for me, the big, not only like the decrease in pain, increased range of motion, big thing for me is like, I could feel it. And for me, like, I gotta feel it. Like, I want to feel it, like, good or bad, because I've worked in a clinic that has cold laser, and we've talked about this how many times. Like, cold laser is great. Like, there's so many benefits to it in so many different cases, but there's something, you don't really feel it. You kind of have to trust it, right? Yeah, like, I understand the science behind it. Like, it works great, love it, but ultimately, it's kind of this trust to be like, oh, it's working.
That's really hard to, sorry to interject, like, that's kind of hard to do as a patient.
One time.
Sorry.
Cash your ticket.
Like,
Yeah.
but, like, just how you had said, like, you have to trust it. So now imagine, like, you're going in, you're hurt, you're already, like, at your wit's end with not knowing what to do, and now you're being told, well, you have to trust the process.
Right.
No.
You can, and I knew it. Like, as a chiropractor, I knew the benefits of it, but there's something, as soon as I had Softwave, it's like, got on the spot right away within like
Tangible.
10 seconds of being on it. I'm like, that is it. And just ripped on it.
I feel like everybody has a very similar first experience with Softwave. Would you say like all the patients come back and be like, that first time was like,
If it's indicated, yes.
If it's indicated. Yeah, every case is a little bit different. Majority of people, I mean, I don't know percentage-wise, but majority of people will notice an improvement to some extent. And from there, I'm like, this is cool. Mitch and I were talking about adding another therapy of sorts to our clinic, I'm like, yeah, we're getting it.
Okay.
The technology of it, I guess we could take a step back. So that was my first experience with it. Do you want to talk about your first experience, and then I'll get into like the history of the technology?
Yeah, he does. Look at him. He's biting his lip.
I'm percolating
sweating.
with information that was also a burp that might have came out. So we won't know. Yeah, I went to the same doc. I've had some patellar / foot issues for like 2 years, just plantar pain. I wouldn't call it plantar fasciitis, but I had a similar experience where the doc kind of applied the therapy on the area. I was like, yeah, that's a different thing. And I felt very encouraged after my first visit because I was like, my foot felt awake. Like it just kind of felt dead almost for the last few months. I was just kind of dealing with it. So I got really excited and I worked out and I did some heavier deadlifts. Not as heavy as Pat, of course. But I really felt the effects after that. It's not recommended to do vigorous lifting after your first treatment, especially.
Yeah.
But I was like, something is definitely different, and that was the stimulus. So that was my experience. And how many sessions did you have with your wrist initially?
One.
Yeah.
One. And I'm like, yeah, I want this.
Yeah.
Like selfishly, I want it for me.
But I mean, like in total, like my first treatment, like I kind of did the course of 8, and then I had to do like a appended. Like mine was, I guess my case would be one of those where it's like it helped, but I had to do more. Where like I think it was kind of like
was pretty
done.
quick. It was like 4, and then I did the full treatment. And I have no issues. God dang, you guys.
I'm sorry. I
Stop
can
burping.
edit these things in
You guys,
or out.
my mom's sensitive to swears.
Swears holding that in
body.
the whole time.
God.
Gross, you guys.
Burping. She's gonna say
Damn zebias.
burping and farting and pooping. And
Bunch of sailors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did treatment. And Des, you had obviously your first session with it last week. So
Yes, I
what
did.
what was your experience? Where did we treat and what did you notice?
So we've been treating my wrist, and then just recently we did my back. So my wrist, literally, that first time where you just get on it and it is just
It's there.
spicy. Yes, spicy, zesty, all the flavors.
It's like a Dorito.
But
But it's a different type of pain.
but it's a good kind of pain. Like it's not the pain that brought me in, but it's definitely, I can feel something is going on, like in a good way.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I didn't work out. Like I didn't do upper body movements that day, but the next day I had done I was just doing like planks up on my hands, and I didn't notice the pressure. I didn't notice sometimes I get tinglies that just kind of move everywhere. I didn't have any of that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something's different.
So yeah,
Like you felt it.
and that was literally just after my first one.
Richie, let's hear your first
You guys
experience
don't want
with
to hear
Softwave.
about mine.
Okay. Anyways, let's
move on.
So
Moving on.
yeah.
I do want to tell it. No, mine is very similar. I have a lot of injuries, but I think the shoulder was the biggest thing where I just felt like it was on a cloud after I had full range
You
of
had the
motion.
classic shoulder. This feels better.
Yes.
Movement.
Yeah.
Like right after
And it
first
lasted.
treatment.
That was the thing for me. It lasted, and then it was. I could tell that there was. I was getting ahead of the game for the first time with my shoulder by doing
It's the
Softwave.
Cialis of healing.
That should be like our
That's
Lasts more.
like Midwest Chiropractic. Stay ahead of the game.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Midwest Chiropractic. Stay ahead of the game.
Just dub it.
Just dub it. Copy paste. Put it all over.